What do you need tweezers for, Quinn?
To find parts in my body I haven't seen in years.
Quinn, we're back!
We're back! Did you miss us? I
It's
mean, we weren't gone that long.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's been a few weeks. We haven't had a lot of time.
We've had a lot of other exciting things going on, like Thompson Speedway. All right, those videos were awesome.
Yeah, that was fun.
So what are we doing, Matthew?
We are gonna work on the Exocet tonight, and we are gonna do some head work.
Oh yes, so we're doing this 2 parts. So we refreshed. I'm gonna show it.
Yep.
Don't mind this ugly valve cover because this was.
That's what came with the car.
But we refreshed the head on our Exocet. Lapped valves, all new fresh OEM valve seals, all the lashes set, and there's new cam seals. We have to seal the cam position sensor, and there's something else that was brand new on this that we did. I don't know. But it's all OEM Mazda seals.
Yeah.
It's the way to do it. So
Yep.
we're selling this to help fund our build. It's for sale if you are interested. Please.
Yeah, that's the best flowing head.
Yeah, the BP4W 99 2000 Miata head is the best flowing head. The VVT ports are the same, except it has the bulge for the VVT cam. So for an upgrade for anybody with a 1.8 from a 94 to 97, whether you're turbocharged or naturally aspirated, you can't go wrong with the BP4W head. It does flow better, has better port angles in it, and I think they're slightly bigger too. I don't know the extent of the technical details, but this head is refreshed, legit. Matthew and I did the work, so we also are offering a warranty with it. So if you're interested, let us know. Hit us up on Instagram or our Facebook page, and we will communicate there for it. So we also busted out a relic from the past, and the reason why we did this is because the BP4W block that we're using over there is the original 56,000 mile block from my 99 Miata that I swapped when I did a 2002 BP05 block for the higher compression. I put that aside and haven't touched it. So we figured it only makes sense to make things matching.
Mm-hmm.
So this relic is my original BP4W head, which Matthew and I are also going to be refreshing tonight, and we're going to show you guys a little bit of the process. Now, we have a couple videos doing head work, so we're not gonna go through every little nitty-gritty detail.
Yeah, we'll show how to lap one valve.
We're gonna show you just quick things. So if you guys ever do want to refresh your head, or you have to change valve seals, or whatever the case you're doing, you should have it. It's just another quick reference point for it, but it's valid content because it's for our Project Exocet. So we're going to begin by stripping the head. We already have the intake cam out because I had a BP, what was it, not BP05, what did they call it? The Mazda Speed MSM intake cam.
Yep.
I had that, which I sold it. Here's my stock cam that we dug out of storage. So that's already removed, and then we're gonna take the cam caps, take the exhaust cam out, take the lifters out, and we'll show you like one step, like for each section.
One of each. Yeah.
All right, let's get our hands dirty. Okay, so we're just taking the cam caps off. I blasted those with my impact because there's no cam in here. When the cam's in here, there is tension from the valve springs and the lifters pushing up on it, so we're gonna loosen them from the outside going in. Oh, you can see the pressure like already in there.
Yep. Should probably get that gear off. I don't know. I guess we don't have to take the gear off.
No pressure still in there. Excuse my language. Gonna have to bleep that one.
I'll just put a turbo noise in front of it. Or does it really even matter?
No. So like now that the tension's taken off and the cam like got pushed up a little bit, we can come in here. Okay, so we're keeping these in order. We don't want to lose our order on our cardboard here. All this crap in the way.
Yep. I always like to just label it front and back.
Yep.
So you know exactly where.
And then also like make note of the position of the covers.
Yep.
Because they have to be in the correct order also. This little guy helps. You got rubber and a plastic end on it. So we're just gonna kind of rock it back and forth. Okay, rinse and repeat. All right, boys and girls, so we're gonna go through this real quick. I use a magnet to pull the lifters out, so just like so. Some of them you may have to fuss and like, you know, try to move it back and forth. Next, we have our exposed lash caps and valve keepers. So we're going to break this loose. Now you can either use the tool like I use for when I go to assemble, which is a cut socket and a big C-clamp. The idea is you compress this, and when this pushes down, the keepers where they bind into the notch on the valve stem, they loosen up and you can grab them with a magnet. But I also have this tool that I had bought for when to do this job in the car. This has a magnetic end in here, so I can literally just put this in and then give it a whack with a hammer. Got a bit harder. This is kind of a weenie hammer. Should be used in a
like a small sledge or something.
Small sledge, but you can see the magnet grabs the keepers like so. So let's see if I get we can get the next guy out. One more whack. There we go. Okay. So there's our keepers in there. We're gonna put these aside again, making note of everything. We take our magnet, we're gonna grab our valve spring. And the bottom of the valve spring, there's these little seat rings. So we're gonna grab that. Okay. Now for valve stem seal, get yourself a set of Harbor Freight valve stem seal removers. You could do this with needle nose pliers, but you have to be very careful that if you slip, you don't want to gouge the valve stem, because if you gouge the valve stem, it's gonna rip the seals. You rip the seals, your head's gonna smoke. You're gonna burn oil. So I'm gonna get this around the end of the valve seal. I'm gonna twist.
Even if you can also with needle nose pliers, you can gouge the inside where the lifters sit too. Couldn't that damage like where the lifters sit?
You could, but I mean, like, I don't think you could. Anything's possible. But again, like, is that gonna hurt anything? Probably not, because that's not creating the seal. Like, oil's just going through there anyways. Yeah. So like, at the end of the day, it's not gonna hurt you like that much. Here's one of our valve stem seals removed. Those are getting thrown away. We're gonna put fresh ones in. So now, the valve can just drop, so I'm gonna pick the head up. And here's our valve, which we're gonna be cleaning everything up, although these are pretty clean.
Yeah, they do look clean.
I might have...
Look at that lap,
Oh, I lapped these, so we may not even have to lap them. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just clean these up with the wire wheel, because there is a little bit of carbon that has come on here, but if I lap them, that means I clean these up, I think, with a wire wheel, so... because not even on the stem here, there's no carbon buildup.
I say if we take the next one out and it looks as good as that, let's just leave them in, let's just replace the seals.
Yeah, come on in. All right.
What did we discover, Quinn?
Well, I was so thrown off for why this valve stem seal was lapped, and my memory, which is failing me in my mid-30s, I had pulled this head originally from my NB. I bought a spare, which is the one that I milled and did the cams and the shim under bucket lifters and stuff in, but I thought I just put this head aside. But it looks like I actually refreshed this entire head, because I went back on my build thread from Club Roadster, and when I was running this head, I never disassembled it. So it must have been after the fact. I went and cleaned up the valves, put new valve stem seals in it. So we only sacrificed one. Mm-hmm. But typically what you would do at this point is when you get the valves out, there'll be carbon built up on the backside, and a lot of times, like more on the exhaust, they'll come up the valve stem. So we just run these underneath a grinding wheel with a wire brush in them. Be careful holding your fingers. You can see us doing that in the other videos. And then lapping, a little bit of lapping compound in a suction cup plunger, like one of these that you can pick up at any auto parts store. A lot of times you got to spit on it, suction here, and you just lap, spin it. You can feel where it grinds the seat a little bit. You don't go nuts. This is all that you want to do. You just want to put a clean edge on it so it get a nice seal. I mean, obviously none of these are going to seal 100% because it's metal on metal, but like that's when you're part of what you're checking for when you're doing the leak down test is how well are the valves sealing. But the bright side is I just saved Matthew and I a whole buttload of work. So I have the block propped up here. I'm going to put this in from the bottom into the valve guide, which I can't really see when I'm light on it. Okay, so come back up. I use a magnet, take our new valve stem seal, put in some oil, because we don't want to force this on dry. Okay?
Yeah, it's no good forcing things in dry.
No. Never do that. So I'm gonna line it up, use my finger, get the magnet out of the way. So I'm going to push, get it started. Take a valve stem installation tool. I'm going to push this down. I'm still supporting the valve. You can see the valve wants to drop, so I'm holding it with my hand. So I'm gonna push this down. Here's the top of the seat. So it's usually like a 2-click on these valve stem seals. So it's the first initial, right there, and then one good push. You can hear it seat. And I just give a little bit of firm pressure. I'm using a little muscle in here. And I come off. The valve stem seal will now hold the valve in place so it won't drop any longer. So we can go ahead and take our seat base. Gonna put this down on the bottom. Where's my tweezers? Just get this lined up down there. Okay. Next, take our valve spring in, our retainer on top. Now this is where we set up the tool. So I use a giant seat clamp that I bought from Harbor Freight. I put a paper towel in here and I electrical tape the end of it so it doesn't mar, because we're going to use this to clamp the underside of the head. Took a socket that I chopped the window out of. So the Miata castings are kind of a pain in the butt to work around. So we're going to get this lined up. I'm going to compress the valve spring assembly, like so. So I'm going to take my one half of my retainer, I'm going to drop it in to get it started, and I usually try to push it back around the valve stem to give me some working room closer towards me to get the second half moon in there. So there's that guy. Again, probably not coming out too well on camera. So we're gonna do the second one. There we go. So you can see I got my 2 peepers, my half moons, in line. I'm gonna slowly decompress the valve spring, and these are gonna get pushed up by the retainer and hopefully grab the seat on the valve stem, which they did not, so we gotta come back down a little bit. I'm doing this, you can see they fall back in place and come back up. There we go. And I try to split the distance. I don't know if it really matters, because like you can see in the other valves that we took the lifters off of, they aren't perfectly split. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit it. But I try to split the gap side to side. I'm just anal like that. And then you can literally take your lifter and then just throw it right back on top.
There it is.
And you're done. All right, so everything's back in except for the cams. So I have a little bit of the oil that I was using for assembly. I'm just gonna throw this on the lifters, let it get around there a little bit. And the cam lobes are gonna butt up against these. I'm gonna get it in the bores too, that the cam spins in. Do the same over here. Okay, and from here we can drop a cam in. So we'll do the exhaust one first. And start our caps. I believe the torque spec is 10 foot-pounds, and you torque these in the sequence starting in the center, working your way out. Am I right, Matthew?
Yeah.
My memory is failing me as I'm getting
I think it was like 12 foot-pounds.
Is it 12?
Yeah, I think so.
10.
I think it was like 9 to 12.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, we'll put the right number on the screen.
Yeah. Oh, we gotta put a little silicone in there afterwards. So this is pretty self-explanatory. We have our torque press set to 10. Too tight. Nothing exciting to see here.
All
Again,
right.
rinse and repeat. You get it. Okay, so we're gonna install our new OEM Mazda cam seals. I like to take a little grease. This is Valvoline synthetic grease. Come around the end of the cams, because again, we want a nice smooth installation. Socket extension. And I just work each side little by little. Don't go full bore on one side because the seal will go crooked. It could tear. And I just work it around. You can hear when the extension hits the metal. That's pretty good when you get to that point. And that's the seal installed. Okay, so next, cam gears. On the BP4W, and I think on earlier years, they're all identical. So these ones are marked exhaust, so you can see the E, and then the white mark here, and then the white mark here for the I. There's one notch on the cam. That's theoretically where you align this with, but if you don't have these marks and you are confused, you can literally just make sure exhaust goes on the exhaust with the notch, so you can see the notches here. So we're gonna put on the notch on the cam. So that would be exhaust. And then it'd be the same thing for your intake side. So that's tight. Probably a little Loctite in there. Oh, and you're actually supposed to put a dab of Loctite on these. All right, torque wrench. Set the.
It's at 40.
40 pound-feet. See if I could do this without Matthew's assistance. Okay, and that's it. Do the other side. All right, so that's it. That's our Project Exocet head back together. We'll come over here. We'll show you guys kind of where the car's sitting now. And Matthew's giving it a little test ride. So we got our steering rack hooked up. It rolls.
Although the steering rack was damaged, so
yeah, we're gonna change it, but just for the sake of mocking things up, making sure that it's as straight as possible before we have the frame powder coated. We do have just a little bit of work. We're gonna get rid of these holes. We're gonna MIG weld these up and then grind them flush. We're gonna see what we can do about this dent, try to pop this out a little bit. Probably gonna drill in from the other side and see if we could tap it out, and then maybe use a little weld and grinding wheel action. Yep, but just because this will be exposed, so we're gonna try to do our best to make it look not terrible. And then that's it. We send this thing off to powder coating, and in the meantime,
we're gonna... wait, what did we order? We're gonna say what we ordered?
Oh, this thing, look at me. Oh, we ordered. Go ahead, let them go.
Okay, so we reached out to Paco Motorsports, and we are going to be working with them, and we did order their Mega Rallycross kit.
Oh, yes.
It's going to be shipping very soon.
It's going to be way more rally than what's on here.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's super exciting. And yeah, we'll pick up in the next video. We'll do more to the engine. We're going to tap the pan for our turbo oil drain, and then paint the block, paint the pan, maybe paint the head too, and mate them together. Well, actually, no. We should probably take care of the holes and then get this thing out of here, and then work on the motor.
Yeah,
but
I do want to put it all together before with the suspension and everything, just to see how it fits.
Before powder? Oh man. All right. Well,
I'm just so excited to see that.
I'm excited too. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Check out our webinars on slipanglemedia.com. Help support our channel. Buy some seats. Have a chance to win some tuner parts. We give them away with the seats. Good odds. Way to give back to you guys, and we don't have to ask for donations. And Matthew, you want to say anything else?
I don't know. Yeah, buy some seats. I don't know.
And buy some apparel. Yep. Support our channel. Thank you.